I'm going a little crazy about Wild Card Weekend. We should also do a segment, I thought yesterday, like mild, like teams gone mild. Instead of, I was trying to do a play for words on a segment. We have to, Eric.
Walk 500 miles.
Something about like mild versus wild, like takes or like stats leading into Super Wild Card Weekend, or splits or storylines that like mean something or don't. Like, is it wild or is it? We've got
man versus miles.
Maybe I can smoke some miles. I'm like, well, who knows? Okay, I want to start with the team that I do think has a formidable offensive line. I think they can make some noise, and it's the Lions. Everyone is talking about Stafford's return from the vantage point, and it makes sense. He's going back into Detroit, and it's going to be fascinating. But for me, it's about the guy, I think, who's got the more motivation and the more need to prove himself than the made man Super Bowl champion, and that is Jared Goff in this one. And maybe he doesn't care, but he is a fiery guy. He just is. And, you know, to try to give Lions fans their first home playoff win in 32 years, playing one of the hottest teams in the league, possibly without your star tight end, that is a lot. To do it against the team that said, deuces, that said, we're trading you, against the coach that, I know it wasn't really like this, but bottom line, business, it is. He essentially gave up on you, and against the Detroit legend who you were traded for. This is like another animal stuff. This is like, thank goodness the strike is over and we can make a movie about this kind of stuff. You can say that it adds that much more pressure on Jared Goff, an added weight on his pretty chippy shoulders. But what it really is just the final stepping stone on a path for Jared Goff to completely rewrite and flip the script here. He's already done a ton to change the perception, just leading the Lions to a division title, something that very few people thought that he was capable of when this trade went down. But knocking McVay and Stafford out to get this team one step, 1 week closer to a Super Bowl, that would take this season and his sort of story to another level. It would just launch him to a different stratosphere, okay? He's beaten the level in the video game, and he's advancing. You know, he's Soda Popinski right up to the King Hippo. That's what he's doing in Punch-Out terms, okay? And if you don't think Jared has that killer instinct in him, listen to him after the Lions won on Sunday.
Hey, you all saw that banner out there? We got more of those things to hang now. Let's go to work now. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
It's just a more compelling storyline. Stafford, the storyline was when he won the Super Bowl. Now it's over. Now I'm not saying he's playing with house money. It'd be very nice to join a club where he has 2 and all, but especially since he's down so many receivers and they didn't have. It's like what McVay is doing is insane and amazing. But like Stafford's going to get like a warm hug when he goes into Detroit. I was arguing with Taylor Lewan about this yesterday. He's going to get the royal treatment, as he should, an absolute legend who gave it his all year in, year out. But nobody's like, he's got nothing to prove in front of that crowd. It's all on Jared Goff. It's all on the discarded Goff being able to make some noise for this team that wants it. And they're so ready for it. And it's hard not to root for their side this weekend. Next up, listen, there's already a ton being made of Tyreek's return to Arrowhead. It's a beautiful storyline. Chiefs host the Dolphins. That one is a Saturday night super wild card matchup. But the Chiefs side is as compelling. Yes, they won the Super Bowl without him last year, although people are crazy and like pretend that didn't happen. They won the Super Bowl without him last year. But that has not stopped said people from bringing up the deal to knock Brett Veach and Casey's management for some of these offensive struggles that they faced this year. This I cannot get behind, understand, or whatever. I would get it if this were like fans from other parts of the country. Like if Dolphins fans are saying this, that's kind of crazy. But like fans that are like thousands of miles away, but I'm seeing Chiefs fans questioning the front. Like Chiefs fans, did you watch the Super Bowl last year? Did you see what happened with the absence? It's nothing against Tyreek Hill, but it is a credit to Veach, to Mahomes, to this team, to Reed, and everybody else, and Eric Bieniemy, who he's the one who's not there this year. Like that, everyone is beating up or taking like hits weirdly, like internally for this, what's going on, and I don't get it. And Chiefs fans, I understand why you're antsy with this offense. But let's not forget that a big part of the reason the Chiefs have the #2 defense in the league this year is because you traded away Tyreek. What are we? Chiefs fans are some of the smartest fans in the NFL. That's true. I believe that. How are we getting this wrong? First of all, Kansas City got the pick that landed them Trent McDuffie out of that deal. He with L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, our white whale. We keep trying. God, like, we have so many missed connections. Me and L'Jarius Sneed trying to get this interview together. I hope it happens. But this is now, you can't tell me this is one of the best cornerback duos in the league right now. And remember this wild fumble return touchdown in Germany? Do you know who that is? On the ones and twos, that's McDuffie. Stripping Tyreek to get it started. That's a party right there. Sign me up. Also, remember the future Hall of Fame D tackle that took over the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl last year? And then he held out and he was in the stands between those two gangsters. Remember that? Yeah, the cap-strapped Chiefs wouldn't have had the $26.8 million to get Chris Jones, number 95, my yoga partner, back in the fold if they hadn't made that trade either. So listen, Tyreek is phenomenal. I'm talking world-beating, generational game. Like, Deshaun was comparing himself to Tyreek, and people were mad about it, saying you shouldn't compare those two. That is, like, Tyreek is in a rarefied airspace, living on his own or in very rare company. But the Chiefs chose to build a more well-rounded team at the expense of some firepower. It was a risk, but one that already helped them and help net them one Super Bowl. So we'll see if this #2 defense that you wouldn't have had if you didn't say goodbye to Tyreek, if they can do it this time around, okay? And if Mahomes and I said they found their wide receiver, Rashee Rice, who also came out of that trade, by the way, can they get enough going offensively to put this team in a position to win another one? And I gotta say, they're happy they're getting the Dolphins. Dolphins are hobbled. They're rooting for the Dolphins all night Sunday night. They're happy they're getting them. I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you're pretty confident you might be going to the AFC Championship game again because you do have the institutional knowledge. You have the experience. And if you look at the Super Bowls in the last years, it's either Brady or Mahomes involved in pretty much all of them. Which one are they not involved? The Rams, Bengals? Super Bowl? That's kind of it, right? Like, it's a pretty safe bet to say, like, the best quarterbacks make it to the game. And Burrow did. Like, if Mahomes, are you the best quarterback? Make it to the game. And I will no longer say that they will not make it after what this looks like. They're seeding their matchup. If they can just pull it together and figure it out, we'll see. Other intriguing storylines. We have Joe Thomas coming on the show. He's coming to us from Munich, Germany. I could not be more jealous, but not even in honor of him, but we're thinking of not even talking about this today because we have Joe on, but we got to get into it. The Browns and Texans, it all kicks it off, okay? It kicks off Super Wildcard Weekend, and it got me thinking about Myles Garrett and this conversation that I had with him when he joined us, and it was early November. And, he's a very curious figure because he's one of the best to ever play. He's one of the scariest guys in the NFL. And I asked him what success looks like for him in Cleveland on this team. Early November, here's what he said.
I mean, success, at the end of the day, is winning it all. If you're not, there's only one winner at the end of the season. Everyone else, we're also Rams, and there's 31 losers and one winner. That's how I look at it. As far as, individual accolades, that's all nice and grand, but, you might get remembered for, winning DPOY one year, but, everyone remembers who won the Super Bowl. So, I want to be able to hold that and be able to have a parade with the city of Cleveland, a historic 2023 team who did it all and brought the trophy back to Lake Erie.
They were 5-3 beginning of November, they just told me. I remember this interview and I get goosebumps watching it now. And I also feel like an idiot watching it now because back then I was like, okay, well, we got to get you out of Cleveland. Like, I want you to win a Super Bowl. I want that for you. I want you to get playoff experience. I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's on this team. It's definitely not with this quarterback stuff going on. This was beginning of November. And the goal is now directly in front of his team. Shut up, me, sitting here. Like, he maybe knew all along. Or, this is Garrett's chance to begin to carve out his own legacy, a legacy that's different. And, I feel like outside of quarterbacks, pass rushers I don't feel like it, I know it. They're the most tied to the team's Super Bowl run than any other position. Whether it's Richard Dent, hey, and his I love this footage, NFL record 6 playoff sacks for those 85 Bears. Uncle Rico, let's go. That playoff run started with him getting to our friend Phil Simms 3.5 times. Listen, before Strahan was doing this to Tom Brady in Super Bowl 42, you love to see it. Love you, Brady, but you love to see it. Before this, he was knocking Jeff Garcia on his ass in the wild card round, leading the team with 9 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and 3 quarterback hits. And before Aaron Donald was beating stuff up with rubber knives and shirtless, before Super Bowl 56, he was demolishing Kyler Murray on Wild Card Monday. My point here is that all the pass rushers that you think about when you picture the greatest to ever do it, they carved out their legacies with the start of their playoff runs. Myles Garrett starts his journey to joining them with C.J. Stroud on Saturday afternoon in Houston. Myles, we are rooting for you. I want it for you so bad. Cleveland has not been an easy team for me to root for, and I always root for Myles Garrett. We'll be back after this.